His first time. Alright, I will. This guy, he runs a show called Arguments and Grievances at Vine Street Pub, which is a really fun debate show. It's like a comedy debate show, and he's a really great comedian. This is Kevin O'Brien. Kevin O'Brien, everyone.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm really happy to be here. I actually got to know these guys pretty well over the past year and a half or so doing comedy. Greg Baumhauer, first person who ever took me out on the road to do stand-up. You're right to laugh, one lady. If you go out on the road with Greg Baumhauer, it's like being Ethan Hawke in Training Day. Like you might accidentally smoke PCP, you're probably going to cover up a murder. But at the end of the day, I became a stronger man for it. We went to Wyoming, first time I was ever on the road, and we performed in the booming metropolis of Torrington, Wyoming. Yeah, it was awful. And I knew it was not going to go well, because before the show, Greg and I were sitting at a table, and a guy in a handlebar mustache walked up to us, and he goes, "Is this the gay table?" I was like, "No, man, we're the comedians tonight." He goes, "Same fucking difference," and turned around and walked away. And then after the show, he didn't enjoy my witticisms for whatever reason, and he was eyeballing me from across the bar. He finally comes up to me, he says, "Where are you from, Junior?" And I was like, "Denver." He's like, "Fuck Denver." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck Denver with our stoplights and things to do. Oh, fuck me." And then we ended up going to Rock Springs, Wyoming the next night, after the show, hanging out with some locals, because I'm obviously a man of the people at this point in Wyoming. And I was like, "What should we do tonight, guys?" One guy goes, "We gotta go to the Astro Lounge." And everybody around him got really excited. They're like, "Oh, we gotta go tonight. They got the dancers in from Salt Lake City." What, does Jazz have a road game? What strippers are in Salt Lake City? And like, I don't like strip clubs, so I was a little leery. So like, went on Google, looked up the Astro Lounge. One review on Google, 4 out of 5 stars. And it said, "Nice enough place. My only complaint is that the dancers are a little unnecessarily aggressive." What the hell is going on in a strip club in Rock Springs? Like, some guy just walks in, minding his own business, all of a sudden a stripper sits him down like, "You're getting a lap dance, bitch! Suck on my titty! Suck on my titty!" And that's exactly what fucking happened at the Astro Lounge in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I was sitting at the bar with my back to the stage, and I hate strip clubs, just drinking, wishing I was anywhere else. When all of a sudden a stripper grabs me, whips me around, rips open my shirt, and starts clawing at my chest. It's the closest I've ever come to a bear attack in my life. And I guarantee you the bear was a lot less hairy and didn't weigh as much as this woman did. And so I just trying to remember, like, when I was a Boy Scout, like, what do you do? It's like, be bigger than the bear. I was like, "Oh!" I just started throwing signals at her until she ran away. And as I was turning back to the bar, I looked at the stage, and there's a dancer up there who was not from Salt Lake City, I will tell you that much. And I noticed she had a giant C-section scar above her bikini bottoms. Yeah, and so I just started drinking to blackout to erase my memory of that entire night. But here's the thing about getting blackout drunk, you still remember the shit that happens before you black out. So now every time I blink, all I can see is that C-section scar. It was a really weird time. And as we were coming back down into Colorado, right before we crossed the border, I saw this billboard and it said, "What if Jesus was aborted?" Like that was even an option in the year zero. Like, wow, thank Christ the Virgin Mary can get a ride at Planned Parenthood in Nazareth on that day. That billboard might as well have said, "What if God pulled out?" Because that's just as feasible as Jesus being aborted. I didn't always want to do this. I went to college like a normal person. I thought I was going to save the world. I actually did AmeriCorps for an entire year, and I worked with all these little kids. My mom's here. She's actually wishing I was still doing AmeriCorps. But I worked with these little kids from the hood, Aurora, essentially. They're all from Aurora. And it was a really eye-opening experience because working with these kids, I found out like they didn't grow up the way that I grew up. And it was even down to like the children's books. Like when I was a little kid, I loved Where's Waldo. These kids had never heard of Where's Waldo. Instead, they all had, "Yo, motherfucker, seen Waldo?" They also had the Repo Man Who Stole Christmas. The only thing that grew 2 sizes too big was that Repo Man's commission check. That much. But the worst one I saw was the Berenstein Bears get evicted. And I was like, alright. You figure with a name like Berenstein to be able to manage your finances a little bit better. Yeah, Berenstain Bears Jewish. Did you know that? They're Jews. I didn't know that. I never did Jewish things in the Berenstain Bears books. Like I never picked up the Berenstain Bears Control the Media. That was never a book. I read it as a little kid. And I went to the 420 rally last month. Anybody go to that thing? Ooh, that was a fun time. I'll tell you what. I didn't start smoking weed until I moved back to Colorado last year, and I'd never been to anything like this. And I went and I lost my friends like right before 420. They're counting down like it was a weed New Year's. And I was like, oh no, I gotta smoke pot. It's 420. And I go up to this guy and I was like, hey man, I hate to be this dude, but it's my first 420. I can't find my friends. I just gave one hit. And he's like, oh yeah, man. Pulls out a joint and hands it to me and goes, happy holiday. And I was like, wow, thanks Marijuana Claus. I have been a good boy this year. And I skipped off into the park and smoked my joint by myself for what I thought was 2 hours. It turned out it was only 16 minutes. I was hanging out in the park by myself. I've been hanging out by myself quite a bit lately. I'm a single guy and I actually thoroughly enjoy it. I got out of a very long relationship and I did not handle it well. You know you're having a tough time in a breakup when Phil Collins, against all odds, speaks to you like on a deep, personal level. I remember right after my ex-girlfriend and I broke up, she sent me a text message that said, please don't sleep with anyone tonight. We were together for 5 years. She was grossly overestimating my abilities to pick up women. And last time I checked, it's kind of hard to pick up chicks when you're alone in the fetal position, crying watching Jerry Maguire by yourself. But I've been out of the game for a while. Maybe that's what ladies are into now. If anybody wants to go back to my place, pop in a VHS of Jerry Maguire. That's all a fetal position is. It's just spooning without somebody else there. That's the way I look at it. Oh man, I overheard this recently. I was out at a bar and I heard this girl say, I knew I loved it when I could fart in front of him. That's total bullshit. I work in a restaurant and I'm constantly crop dusting people I can't stand every day. Like before every shift I just eat a can of cold beans so I can drop bombs and ruin people's days when they're trying to eat their quesadillas. Like what is this, a dog food factory? What is that smell in this restaurant? I hate those people. You want to know what true love is? I used to watch my ex-girlfriend poop. And not like in a weird way, in the bushes wearing a trench coat when she didn't know I was there. We were together for so long that eventually you're going to see that person poop regularly. Or irregularly, depending on their dietary habits. But the sick thing is, it's like, to me, that's real intimacy. Like, that's true love. So now I'm deathly afraid that I'm never going to see a woman poop again. Unless I go on Craigslist and spend about $50. But I don't think that's definitely love I've been looking for on the casual encounter section. I was also out recently at a dive bar on Colfax on a Tuesday, because my life's going pretty fucking awesome, let's be honest. And I was staying next to this guy who I didn't know at all, and this girl walks in and he yells at her, "Sup, big tits?" And she, being a normal human being, she's the dirtiest look I've ever seen in my life, and walked right past him. He undeterred turned to his buddy and goes, "It works." I hope to God that doesn't work. It's going to be a very uncomfortable story when your kids ask how you met their mom. See, I was hanging out on a dive bar on Colfax on a Tuesday when your mom walked in and I said, "What a do, camel toe?" Next thing I know, you're born 6.5 months later with fetal alcohol syndrome. I'm a young enough guy. I took DARE growing up. You guys take DARE? Round of applause? Yeah? 90% of you have beers in your hand while you're trying to applaud. You're like, I don't know what they get to teach DARE. It's going to be like some rookie cop that just got off the graveyard shift at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like the last place he wants to be is in elementary school. And every first day his cop walks in and he just goes, "All right, kids, every letter in DARE stands for a word. You want to guess what the words are?" So we all freak out. We're like, yeah. He's like, okay, D. Kids go, drugs. A. Alcohol. R. And a kid in the front row raised his hand and yelled, rape! And this poor cop was like, no, son, it's resistance. And the kid goes, I know, it's what makes it rape! And apparently the ESOP were expelled because I never saw that kid in class again. Alright, thank you guys so much. It's going to be a great show.